how about we do a review / my personal thoughts video on this double Sanitaire that I have here. Basically a homemade version of the Sanitaire Wide-Track 2. That's actually the vacuum that inspired me to build this, or me and my dad, to make this, is a Sanitaire Wide-Track 2. Because for those of you who have seen videos on the Sanitaire Wide-Track 2, you guys will remember that it's basically two Sanitaires together. So, do I have my little nitpicks with it? Yup. And basically I think I have like, what is it, 2 major nitpicks with it? Well, 2 really stuff that I kind of feel like could be improved, but I mean, those are problems I can always deal with. So this likes to shift. Well, actually, it's actually not this part that bugs me. The heads here like to shift forward and backward, and I don't like that. So that's why I have to have that zip tie there so that the heads don't split apart. But they still like to shift here and there. But you know what? Because of that zip tie, they don't do it too bad. It isn't too bad. So So that's a problem that I kind of fixed, but I wish wasn't as much of a problem. Oops, sorry about that. My second is the bags. This setup wasn't really meant because, as you guys might remember, this part rubbing on the bag right here is not very good. So I have to have, well, actually you can't really see it that well from that angle. So this part would rub on this part of the bag, and there's already marks on the bag from that, but the bag is still in usable shape. And how I fix that, obviously, is I put strings to keep the bags from rubbing on this during use. But then the bags would kind of go on the floor, rub on the floor when I'd be rolling around if I left them like that. So what I have to do is find a way to get them so that they're up and off the floor. So, but those are really my only 2 major areas where I feel like it could be improved. There's a lot of positives about this though. My first positive is it gets stuff done really fast. It can, and you know what? It doesn't get everything in the middle, but everything like dust, but like everything like fine dust and even little strands of hair the brush rolls will catch, those aren't a problem. And even sometimes some debris will just get sucked up in the middle. So this guy actually does an extremely good job of cleaning it. These still perform amazingly like Sanitaire should. So they're good Sanitaires. And then another pro about this is that if I turn the switches off here so the units don't turn on, when I turn on the power strip, that yellow part is a power strip, this thing right here. So if I turn off the switches on the Sanitaires themselves, I can plug another vacuum into this, as you guys have probably seen in another video, like that, and that way I can just, if a vacuum's cord is too short to reach an area, I can just use my double Sanitaire to extend it so that I have an outlet close by so that I can vacuum whatever area I need to vacuum. So that comes in handy. And I actually use that feature on this a lot. So that's actually one thing that this has that the original Wide-Track 2 doesn't. And this will cut the time in half from a Sanitaire SC899. I'm not kidding. It actually will. And yeah, so and with the two Sanitaires together, this Sanitaire can generate up to 350 CFM with the bags totally empty. Because I would imagine these units right now individually can grab about 180 CFM. So these with a completely cleaned out bag. So that means these guys could grab about 350 CFM with the two units together. And just for comparison, you know those big vacuum cleaners that they use at buildings, like the Minuteman they have in my church, and some like all the 24-inch vacuum cleaners. Those are rated for 220 CFM. Those big giant vacuum cleaners. So these two Sanitaires together have more CFM. So these actually probably clean better than those bigger vacs do. And the Sanitaires themselves survive pretty well. You know, every time I clean these guys up, they look like babies. So, because, you know, well, because they're still like new. They haven't really worn out that much. The only stuff I've had to replace in these Sanitaires are the brush strips and the belts. That's it. I have not had to replace anything else, and I think I've been using this commercially for like 8 months now. So pretty good track. So yeah, these guys this guy is a great. My biggest vacuum, and it performs really good. It's a wonderful vac. I'm glad this was made because it has just come in really good handy at the church. It's always reliable to me. It always does the job well and all that good stuff. So for those of you who need a big vacuum and know how to put wood together or drill through it, or if any of you need a big vacuum and there's a method you can use to smack two Sanitaires together, you can it's not a problem, because these guys will not blow a 15 amp outlet, because each of these units uses 7 amps, which means the most it will add up to is 14 amps, but it doesn't even add up to 14 amps. It will add up close to 14 amps, but it's not quite there. So these guys, I'm willing to bet, are more electricity efficient than a lot of other vacuum cleaners out there. So, electricity efficient, and you know what? These guys actually use, for comparison, I actually want to compare some. So, let's say you guys have like a Dyson. You have a Dyson that uses 12 amps. This guy right here uses at the most 14 amps. I actually find that this guy uses 13 amps in a good outlet. Actually a little over 13 amps. So that means this guy, using just a little over the amperage a Dyson would use, is getting over 350 CFM versus a Dyson that would only get 56 or 55 or 59 or whatever a Dyson would get. So that is extremely good CFM. So I would rather take a 300 CFM machine than a small vac that uses close to the same amperage. So there's my review and thoughts on this Sanitaire. Great commercial vacuum. It's definitely commercial industrial material for me. Although nobody else might be able to figure it out unless I show them, which I'm not, because this is my personal vacuum. So, thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for some more, and I actually might have another clip. So as a closing shot, let's see, I have a weight scale. Let's see how much this dirt in this grocery bag weighs. So we are currently reading at 2 pounds of dirt from 2 shakeout bags for my double sanitaire. We have about 2 pounds of dirt. Now, adding the grocery bag in there, I mean, like, that does not weigh much even in grams. So I guess if you really wanted, you could take it down to like 1.9, but still like 2 pounds of dirt. That's quite a bit. So there we go. In just 2 vacuumings during the winter from 2 services, this sanitaire picked up 2 pounds of dirt. Plus, I think they were taking down a little house in the sanctuary. But there you have it, 2 pounds of dirt. So, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.